Welcome to Fortnite Practice, episode 4. So, we are continuing off from where we were at the last episode, from drill 1. Goal is to get all the way to drill 5, at least. Hopefully I can get further. So, I hope you enjoy watching. Let's get into it. Oh, hello.
Welcome to the third room, and this is probably going to be the most complicated one. This is the room where we finally start to piece control the enemies. But you get the insider scoop. I'm going to teach you some pro techniques to do it the best way possible. I have all the same peak scenarios set up as the previous one. Let's start with the triangle edit here. What I want you to do is position yourself so that the sentry cannot see you, just like we did for the peaks. The goal is to not get shot while piece controlling the enemy. So while you're behind this peak, try to place a cone in their box, walls around them, and a cone on top. You're probably already noticing that left wall is hard to get without exposing yourself. Typically, when I'm piece controlling from behind a peak, I leave that wall open. But while doing it from behind a triangle edit, if you look upwards and to the left, you can still get that wall. Only if you look in the perfect spot. But practice piece controlling this first target from behind this peak on repeat and set up good peak shots and reset your wall after your shots. This is going to be the hardest part of getting this down, but I'm telling you, it's going to pay off. Once you're ready, you can move on to the windows.
So as you saw, I was trying to figure out how to do it. I think I'm doing quite well. I think. But, so what I'm gathering is it's like this. Jump up, obviously without mantling. Well, I don't know why it's doing that. And then you place the wall, edit it, and then obviously with your shotgun out and no mantling. That's got to be a setting somewhere. I need to turn that off. Yeah, okay. It's like auto mantling, but it's not auto mantling. So, okay. I'll get that sorted for next episode. Ooh. Cursed thing. Okay. Let's reload the shotty. Die, please. Bye-bye. Bah. Let's make it brick, because I said... Oops, see, I missed. Bah! Okay, so I think I'm doing quite well. Let's just do like 1 or 2 more reps. Well, that was a very good headshot. Die. Okay. So I'm going to move on to the windows, but I will be practicing this in my spare time when I can.
For a window peek, it works exactly the same. You just have to stand off to the left of your window, and then you can place the cone above and below, and the back wall and the right wall. The left wall is going to be impossible to place without exposing yourself here, but it's okay. The way I approach it is if I see the enemy going out the left, I'll try to build an entire box out the left side before they get there. Or if you see them going to the left, you can just step into the window a little bit more and place that left wall. But for now, just leave that left wall open and focus on getting all the builds from behind the peak and setting up a good peak shot. And of course, reset your wall after every shot you take. Now, while you're on this drill, I got one more tip for you. Try placing a ramp in their box instead of a cone. If you get the sentry underneath the ramp, then you can get all the walls around him. You don't need to worry about being behind the peak until you edit the ramp. Once you want to take that shot, you just set up the edit on the ramp, get behind your window peak, and take the peak shot. Give it a try and then move on to the next when you're ready.
Okay. Something I've learned is that you should always reset your wall no matter what. Okay, what? Hold on. What's this? Why's it doing that? Okay, so I can't really place a cone below it. Okay. Shotty time. 3, 2, 1. Back. There we go. Okay. Right, this is incredibly difficult for me, personally. I don't know how all the pros, they could probably do this with their eyes closed. Hello? Alright then, that is questionable. Did it do that again? It did. Do that for some mix up. One I free. 40. 360. Let's go. I'm gonna break this wall because it's getting on my nerves already. Right, this thing.
The first two options are the best way to piece control from behind a right-hand peak. If you did it behind a low wall, oftentimes your head is going to be visible while trying to place the builds. So I would scratch that off your list of practicing right now. But what I do want you to do to this spot right here is set up a normal wall with a window in it. Stand in the window, then have your cone out. Look in the dead center of your screen with the cone build out, and then gently move your crosshair up and down. Notice how you don't have to move it very much for the cone to place above you versus below you. So if you keep your crosshair somewhat pointed in the center of the screen when placing the builds, it'll help speed up the process of placing the top and bottom cone. Just a little tip for you.
Whoa, okay, so you only have to move it like that much. Okay, that's quite useful. Why am I building a ramp? I don't know. But it works. Because I can do that. Okay. Alright. This is, I can tell, difficult. Okay, you. Hello? Could you work?
Just like in the first two drills, by standing to the left of the peak here, you can place the right walls and a cone or ramp in the enemy's box. After getting the builds in the enemy's box, just step into the peak and reset the floor afterwards.
Huh? Well, I broke it. Okay. The hell is this? Okay. Oh, and I'm stuck. Okay. Are there any that are actually easy that I can understand?
In the final drill here, I have the Martaz peak set up like we talked about in the peak section. What you can try doing is after taking the peak shot through the Martaz peak, place a wall. Notice how you can look straight up through the peak and place walls a layer up. A lot of times you can catch your opponents in that piece control. The other thing you can practice doing here is ramping up towards the enemy, placing a wall, and doing the different forms of piece control we practiced earlier, like through a window or through a peanut butter edit. And like always, set up a nice peak and reset your wall after taking your shot.
What on earth? I think this is a bit too advanced. Right, let's try going back to peaks.
The first peak we're going over is one of the most common. It's called a peanut butter peak. Why, you might be wondering? Probably because a peanut butter sandwich is best when it's cut in diagonals. To do this peak, you want to make the triangle, but when you confirm that triangle edit, make sure you're off to the left. If you're not far enough off to the left, the enemy's going to have an angle on you, and they're going to shoot you. Once you make the edit, you want to jump upwards and to the left while taking the shot. And as soon as you shoot, reset your wall. For all the peaks we're going to be going over, always try to reset your wall after taking your shot. That way, if your shot doesn't kill the enemy, they won't be able to do counter damage because you will have reset that wall. And the other thing you need to know throughout these drills is try to have a cone in your box for the most part. If you don't have a cone in your box and you edit a peak, the enemy could place a ramp over you. And a lot of times, that's going to mess up your chance of ending the fight.
Okay. I was changing the setting to try and make me not mantle whenever I just hold the spacebar for a little bit too much. Now, technically, my mantle's W. As you can see, barely. But to be fair, I think that's quite good for me. I'm a weird person, so makes sense. Back. Back. Right, windows.
The second peek is a window peek. Now there's something you need to know. Try editing a window on the far right, and then make a far left, and then make one in the middle. Notice how the middle window peek is a lot bigger than the other two. This means you need to be careful whenever you do a middle window peek. Simply because if you're not far enough off to the left, the enemy's gonna have an angle on you and they're gonna shoot. So practice some different window peeks here, and when you feel comfortable, move on to the next one.
Okay. I'm going to end the video here. Practiced it in my free time. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you really enjoyed it, if you want to, you can leave a like and maybe even subscribe. So, I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you and goodbye.